Hello friends, Kerrie here, and I'm here doing my process for our cosmic currents for the month of June. So stepping it up a little bit this month and inviting you in as we move through calling in the experience that we want to show up, right? We are co-creators with spirit, and therefore we actually do have a say in what we want to bring forth. So um, I'll explain as I go, but let's start with acknowledging the energies, and I feel like I need to do a little clearing. So I'm using my turtle rattle just to clear the energies. This is my soul activation board. For me, it symbolizes a medicine wheel and really helps to focus the intention and the energies. I've been working with them a little while, and if you would like one of your own, then by all means reach out and let me know when I can send you the information. But so everything sort of is focused here on what we're intending and what we're wanting to bring through. And so when I clear the energies, it's omnipresent and goes out wherever it needs to. So in particular, for my sacred and sassy members in our collective. So I want to start with acknowledging May. And May, to me, I hear the words a whirlpool. It felt like our energies, our collective energies, were just going around, spiraling around in circles until, and almost like just increasing in intensity as it was doing that. And if you were like me, if you were resonating with this, you'll know that in the last week of January, as we came into that full moon, there was a crescendo, a build up of that energy, that it was piling on top of us until a breakthrough came. And that breakthrough meant, firstly, that I was supposed to do this video last week, but I just wasn't in the right space because of that. So the breakthrough came for some of us with that full moon on the last weekend at the end of May. And for those of us that have sort of broken through or are not quite there yet, I still want to acknowledge that there is a lot of overwhelm in the energies. And that's the first thing. We're sort of feeling, we're being pulled to feel like we can move forward, but at the same time, we're sort of being slowed down a bit, and that sort of is giving us a little bit of this tug of war feeling. So I want to just sort of acknowledge where we've been to where we're at right now before we do move in. But even before I move into the collective energies of June, I need to move to bring in the intentions of our sacred and sassy members for the month. So we have more of the good things. Now, with each of these, they have a name on them, but I'm respecting their privacy. They will know who they are. So more of the good things. And as I read that, I hear peace is coming. Peace is coming. So just keep doing what you're doing, moving forward in that way and exploring more of yourself. Another member's looking for clarity and love in June. And I certainly sense that that clarity is going to come. That as you connect into your heart, then you are going to receive that clarity. And there's a real significant moment this month around the 14th for you that really does sort of sink into that. So look forward for that. We have momentum. We have one of our soulpreneurs looking for continued momentum and wanting momentum in their business. And I hear just keep speaking out, keep being that light and showing up as you do, and it'll come to the fore. And I get the month of August around that, the beginning of August. There is a lot of clarity and a lot of just, it's like the pathway sinking in that then becomes a little bit of your view. It's like your secret funnel kind of thing, because you'll be able to rinse and repeat that and it'll keep happening. So keep going with that. Another one of our members wants to release shame. And there really is a letting go in that process, and you're in that space of peeling away the layers and healing. So keep going with that. It will come. It may be one of the last things that you let go of, but it's going to come. And this month, a little bit of grounding, a little bit of cleansing and increasing your self-awareness. And don't be afraid to go into the depths of what you need to release. That's where that secret is. I guess this is my one. I'm looking for and calling in 15 new VIP members to my Sacred and Sassy collective, because we are moving into spirit-led decks, and I want 15 new people to come in who would like to channel, create and publish their own oracle or affirmation deck. So that's what I'm calling forth, and I'm hearing the word peace, and I'm hearing that I actually need to lean into that kind of energy and allow myself. So say, for example, today I've woken up, and when I've asked how does spirit want to flow through me today, I've been shown to just read a book, to just put my feet up, and I tend to resist that kind of thing when I've got a busy to-do list. But anyway, like, I'm going to allow myself to do that this afternoon. So that's the kind of energy I need to lean into. I'm hearing energy and motivation from another one, and vitamin C is coming up for me around this. Certainly your immune system, oranges, vitamin C, definitely. So watch out if you're not getting a cold or haven't, or already have a cold, but your immune system, I feel like, needs attention with that, and that will help. So don't try to just push on through. Give yourself that healing space. Letting go of control. Oh, that's a big one, isn't it? You know, like, that's one where we all of us are all working towards that in some degree. And what I would let you know is that where you're at it's a culmination. It's like we go through little bits of peeling away layers around how controlling we can be with the outcomes of the universe. But there comes a point where we actually get we hit a massive brick wall with it, and then we're actually sort of almost pushed through where we can't ignore it any longer, and we actually have to make those release those chains of control, whether we like it or not. And those circumstances are not always, they're challenging, they're difficult, but that's, you're being pushed through. So letting go of control is coming. It's one of the gifts of where you're at. So keep being aware of it, and you know, don't be afraid to lean into the new version of you with that. And lastly, we have direction. Clarity around direction, clarity around movement. I hear the word movement. There is movement coming in for you this month, and moving forward slowly but surely towards the end of the month, and doors opening. So that direction is going to come in for you. But what I would say with where you're at right now is to really think about, don't just wait for spirit to tell you. Don't just wait for it to reveal itself. What is it in your heart of hearts that you want to do, that you want to contribute? And perhaps don't, when I say that, don't be surprised if the first thing that comes to mind is actually not purpose related, not career related, if it's more of a personal nature. Go with that, because sometimes they are all connected. And so they're the intentions of what our Sacred and Sassy tribe is calling in for the month of June. Now, if you're watching this video and you want to be collectively part of that, by all means, I invite you to come and join our Sacred and Sassy collective. It is free on School, but also please comment below, you know, partake a little bit in the energies that I'm creating here. So as we move into June, and I'm going to feel into it. So I have a belief that we are spirit, that we are all connected as one. And when I come into that space and I really feel into that, I also have a belief that we can communicate with the consciousness of all that is, anything we're creating, our pathways, the universe, the collective energies. We can create with the moon, our bodies. We can communicate with our conscious creations, and that what we are manifesting, you know, our businesses, our relationship with money. If that sounds like something that is of interest to you, then by all means jump into our Sacred and Sassy collective, because that's what I'm teaching and sharing all about there. So June, when I come into being in spirit and communicating with June, I hear the word peace. I hear that that is on offer. I hear that it is there for all of us, and it's more like the second half of June. Now, I will say that since December, when I've been doing these cosmic currents and making some graded collective predictions in regards to the energies that we're at, June has always felt like there's been a shift and a pivotal moment. And as we started having the fuel crisis and travel started having being a bit of a concern, I always felt that it was safer to travel after the middle of June. And I still feel that shift. I still feel like that peace comes in that second half, and we can all start to take a breath. So that's the first thing that sort of comes in. But it doesn't mean that we shouldn't be diligent. That, because I hear the word diligence, we still need to be diligent about what we're bringing to the world, the energies that we're bringing to the world, what we're putting out there, because we can't control everything that's happening on a world scale, but we can control what we contribute into those collective energies. So by creating more peace in ourselves, and by focusing more on our connection with the divine, that is essentially what brings peace, not just into our lives, but into the world around us, and that's our contribution to the greater good. So I really feel like there's a real opportunity this month for people to be questioning the depth of their connection to the divine. I'm actually seeing angel wings, which is also a symbol for your soul purpose for me. So if it's your soul purpose that is leading you forward, then, or if you don't even know what that is, come into the Sacred and Sassy Collective. And I will stop talking about that because that's enough. But I urge you, I can't, it's our soul purpose that's going to lead us into understanding who we truly are. And I know that the spiritual space has taught us to connect to spirit, but it's not actually taught us what it actually means to live as the spirit that we truly are. And when we do, we naturally connect to our purpose and what the spiritual pre-birth plan and what that was, and the life you were always meant to live in a natural flow of abundance. And there is a real doorway of opportunity for all of us to really lean into that this month. So those things like direction, anything along those lines that I've spoken about with our members' intentions, that when this opportunity is presenting, some of you are going to actually feel a shift and a change in direction. Some of you are going to feel that perhaps if you're looking for the momentum, then what is the little tweak that needs to be made to open up that momentum? Look for those this month, because what's really going on there is a deepening of your purpose, a deepening of how you need to show up in the world in alignment. That's so I'm putting that soul purpose down. And that is when we lean into that, that's what's opening up our natural flow of abundance. And here's the thing, it doesn't need to be hard work. It doesn't need to be a constant battle with mindset. It doesn't need to be a constant questioning of, am I doing the right thing? Or am I in alignment? Or seeking permission from your spirit guides and, constantly being told, hey, divine timing, here we are. It doesn't need to be that. You just need to sit and learn to sit in the energy of the spirit that you are, and the doors, I can see practically fly open. So a couple of things are coming up for me, and one is health. That, yes, those of you that are being challenged with health issues right now, then the key is awareness, slowness, like pace yourself, slowness, rest when you need to rest. Slow down the pace of life, and you can naturally do that if that's a challenge for you, by choosing to come into stillness, choosing to sit and start your day in meditation. And even if it's not full meditation, then perhaps just a few minutes of sitting in stillness, hand over your heart, drawing an oracle card, having a cuppa. I also choose to embody that before I even get out of bed. And if you've got a busy lifestyle with kids, then that's how I recommend you do that. Before you get out of bed, you just sit and hand over heart. And right now, my daily soul conversation that I start the day with is, how does spirit need to flow through me today? So that might be a worthwhile thing for you. And bring your body and its awareness into that space. What does my body need from me today? to create balance. And go with the first thought, feeling, impression. And I'm hearing that that's a real key. So I need to add that into my own conversation. And for some of us, it will be rest. For some of us, it might be that vitamin C that I mentioned earlier. It might be that you book that doctor's appointment that you've really been putting off. So health is coming up as a focus. And because, as we know, it's a foundation of almost everything. That, your connection to your body, your connection to the divine, they're the foundations of everything that we do. And often we just take either of those for granted, don't we? Not bringing enough in. The next thing that I'm hearing is money, wealth. And this will be in particular for our soulpreneurs, our sacred and sassy soulpreneurs who are all, building a life around serving others, having a spiritual business, and often can be caught in that crux of it not flowing financially, overgiving, feelings, questioning everything. What am I doing wrong because that's not flowing, right? And perhaps that's not it at all. Perhaps you are definitely sort of on the right pathway. I'm being reminded to look for that tweak this month, that little shift that needs to come through to open the doorways for you. Go with that. But don't overthink it too much. Just go with it is what I'm hearing, because there's definitely some of that there for all of you. And if you want help with that, then if you want help to understand that, to see that, then my one-on-one wealth code readings are perfect for that. What they are is I certainly look and can see in your aura the layer that is the map of your soul and how it actually needs to create abundance aligned with your purpose. It's linked to your spiritual pre-birth plan. And from there, if you have a business, we can certainly come up with what that tweak is for you. So 30 minutes, 120 Australian dollars. That's all it needs to be. You don't need to be struggling to figure it out. But more in that, I'm actually hearing intention. Get really specific down to the profit plan, in your businesses, the number of offers, how many sessions, say if it's like a coaching consultancy, how many sessions of your particular offer that you're focusing on this month do you need to engage to work towards to reach your financial goal? We need to get really grounded in the practicalities is what I'm hearing. Sometimes there's too much of us being in those spiritual creative energies, all of that sort of, it's out there, and not enough of grounding it into our everyday. And I know I can be guilty of that. Hence why for my soulpreneurs, I'm actually building AI tools that help you ground into that. I'm trialing a cosmic cash flow app right now just to make sure that it works before I put it into our Mystic Medicine bundle. And that will have that kind of profit plan built into it for you to work with you and ground that in. So we need to get really practical. I'm just writing all these down. These are my notes. Practical, grounded, Now, I feel like this month, this is a little bit more of a focus for you and me. Whereas the first 5 months of the year, there's been a lot of information coming in about the collective. But I feel like this is more for, you know, the spiritual soul seeker that is working towards soul alignment. These are the things that we need to be aware of. Those of us that are looking for a life rooted in our soul purpose and our connection to the divine, and those of us who are soulpreneurs like myself, bringing through your sacred expression and how you show up in the world with that. So I feel like this is where the focus is for this month of June. Now, I'm going to finish off, I'm going to pull a couple of cards. And at the minute, I've been using Practical Magic by Serene Keneally and Selena Fennick. I only started using this deck this week, but quite loving it. So I'm going to pull one of those cards. And the question here is, it's I guess what's coming up for me. It's the soul coming up. It's what needs to be cleared for us to move into where we want to be. And it's the outer wisdom of Merlin's temple. And I feel like that feels to me a little bit like expanding your connection to the universe, your creative powers, honoring your spiritual gifts, your spiritual talents, how they work with the universe, and, you know, really bringing that through you out to serve others. So spend some time, I guess, in communion in that way. It's Merlin's temple, so it's like, what's your magic? And expand it beyond you, expand it beyond just your connection in your human circumstances. I know for me, my equivalent of that is mysticism, being a mystic, and my mystical mediumship lies, like I said earlier, in the fact that I can communicate with I have the belief that consciousness is there to be mediumistically communicated with. So not just our loved ones, but anything. Essentially, you are just limited by your imagination and your intentions, essentially, because we are connected to all things throughout all time and space. So it's like expansion. Expansion is the word that I want to put to that card. Expand your gifts, expand your awareness, expand your knowledge. That, and however you choose to do that, is what is going to lead you to a greater sense of success. Lastly, these are my spirit guide wisdom cards. I first channeled these back in 2005, and I have been working with them ever since. And as I said, I am about to step into and create a new deck, the Mystic's Way Medicine Cards, and I'm inviting you to join me with that process to channel, create, and publish your deck. If that speaks to you, reach out and I can share the information. Now we have Jesus and faith, and I feel this link to the practical side of things, to the journey of being a soulpreneur. Have faith. Have faith. Let your intuition guide you. Know that your beliefs and understandings of yourself will grow and change through that journey. And if there's one real key that I can give you about that, as in getting practical, is in the energies of this year, there's been a real push to speak up more, to express more of who you are, to be unapologetically you. The energies have been really pushing through for that. That is where your success lies. And it means thinking outside the box. It means being brave enough to be you and brave enough to show the world, hey, this is who I am. This is what I'm about. I want to serve you with this. And being brave enough to be outspoken, to be controversial if need be. Just put it all there on the line. And if you can look and see particular in May, if that's what May's been pushing you to do, then it's time. It's time to break through and just do it. Because that's where everything that you were seeking, that's where that connection to that lies. That unapologetic authenticity. So I'm here for that. I'm here to support you with it. Reach out if you need anything like that. But let me know in the comments below what in this video resonated for you. What are you taking away from it? What are you taking away to help you move forward through June?